Hey y'all, it's your girl, Big Legs, not the little one, and welcome back to the Life of Flex. Now, this is my third time trying to record this episode, so maybe it'll work out, maybe it'll be short, maybe it'll be quick, easy, sweet, you know? Who knows? Prayed over it, so let's just do what the good Lord wants, okay? So, anyways, how you doing? You good? Great. Happy to hear. Yeah, you're alive. So, it's great. I'm glad you're here. Super duper glad you're here. Like, I thank God for you being here, listening to me. It's making my dreams come true. But, anyways. Yeah, let me tell y'all a story, right? So, and trust me, it's going somewhere. So I went to Walmart the other day, because all week I had my hair straight, and naturally you need a shower cap. And I would go to stores and not find a shower, or not buy a shower cap. I wouldn't even think about a shower cap. But then by the time it comes to me to take a shower, which I like to do twice a day, I don't have a shower cap, so I'm using plastic bags. And I was like, you know what? I have all these plastic bags that I'm using from stores that sell shower caps. So I took it upon myself yesterday to go to Walmart, get a shower cap. Spent $4.50 on it, by the way. It's crazy. That's insane. Like, inflation is insane. But anyways, so I get there, I park next to this truck, and this guy is selling stuff in his truck. I'm like, okay, I hope he doesn't try to sell me anything, because I'm going to buy it. And I just, I don't like spending money. I don't. Anyways, so when I get out the car to go into Walmart, I'm hauling ass. So he don't try to stop me, He didn't bother me. He wasn't worried about me, I guess. So, go in Walmart, spend my $4.50, come back out. I'm hauling ass. Okay? Sit down in my car. And something told me, get out the car and go talk to that man. So, I listened to the voice. Got out. Talked to him for a while. Like, pretty sure over an hour. And during this conversation, I was talking about my life. And about how I have a podcast. And talking about my life. He was like, well, what kind of things do you talk about? And I'm like, well, my feelings. Da-da-da. And I started telling him other things. He was like, well, why don't you talk about that stuff on your podcast? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I did. But then I realized I haven't. Because, I've gone over old things that happened to me in my life. But if you've listened to the podcast, or you can even go back and look, and there's a break between May and whenever I started back on the podcast. During that break was a dark time. Okay? The time before the start of, this era of Lex, right? When it changed from Get Your Shit Together to The Life of Lex. That was a dark time. I had to, take that off. And so, I feel like it's only fair to just brief y'all on those times. Because that's only fair, like I said. And I'll start from the time before right? So let me just, do the most right now. See where we're talking about. Let's see where we're going with this. Where we start. So, there's an episode from August the 16th of 2022. And then 2023's like era of episode starts with an episode called Lex's New Era, and that was on February 22nd. So 2 days after my 25th birthday. And let me tell you, it was a dark time. It was very dark. So, what I was going through before Lex's New Era was that I was in a relationship with a guy who was much older than me. But when I got with this man, I didn't know he was that much older than me because he told me one age. And then after a year of being together, he got his birth certificate in the mail. And I'm like, hey, did you know you were born in 1977? He was like, no. I'm like, that's 7 years from what you told me was your age. What the huh? So, I wanted to leave the relationship. I wanted to be done. Because that was insane to me. Like, I felt betrayed, personally. And this was 2022. Right? So, I was asked to stay in the relationship before a good reason. Maybe not. The reason for me staying was because he was having issues with baby mama drama. And it involved getting his son out of the system. And he couldn't do that alone. So he asked me to help, to stay and help. So I said yes. And after I said yes, in my, I feel like a whole month of my life after I said yes is blank. Can't tell you what I did. Can't tell you anything, really. Just blank. So, after that, I was like, you know what, since I decided to stay in a relationship, might as well go all in. Went all in, right? And then it blew back on my face. And what do I mean by that? Well, I decided that I wanted to, have a baby with this man since he already had one and it was iffy. That whole situation was iffy. And I'm like, well, I know myself. I could give him a child that's his. I know that in my heart I'll be a great mother. But I knew I wasn't ready. But couldn't tell me that. I'm stubborn. So I'd done my research. Figured that, 9 months will buy me some time to get my life together. Don't think like that. But anyways. Got pregnant. 2 days after finding out I was pregnant. Lost a baby. So The next following months, up until October, November 2022, I wasn't okay to admit that that had happened to me. I was not okay with that happening to me. Just ignored it. Right? So, anyways, it came a time where I had to look at myself and say, hey, homegirl, you lost a baby. Whether it was 2 days old or a month old or whatever. You lost a baby. And let me tell you, I was devastated. Like, me? Like, oh my. I was thinking that something was wrong with me. And then I also came to the realization of how I came to be in this world and how that affected my life from the moment I was conceived, even what led up to the conception of me, and everything that happened afterwards. Because I was never lost on the fact that, my mom's due date was around February 12th. I was born February 20th. And babies come when they're ready. So I stayed in there 8 more days, like, I don't want to. But eventually, there comes a time for everything. And so, knowing that, how I was brought into this world, I was destined to go through every single painful moment, every single heartbreak, every single loss, every single moment of despair, moment of hopelessness. I was created for it. Because if you want a child to be raised up right, you're going to do everything in your power to make sure that happens. And it'll never happen alone. But most of my life, I was alone. And so I was questioning on whether or not it was worth it to keep doing this thing called life. And I'd given up. I was tired. And so, meanwhile, I'm still in a relationship, trying to feed someone else, make sure they're taken care of, that they can go to work every day. Be a good girlfriend, be a fiance, because I was engaged, rather. And then my ex, he got me a ring in October, right? Because we had been engaged for over a year at this point. But he thought the ring just was a symbol. And I'm like, no. If you wanted to be with me for real, you would have already gotten it. So we went to the mall one day, and he was like, we're going to get a ring. And so we went to the store in the mall. I picked out one I liked. We got it. It's probably one of the cheapest rings in the store. I'm going to be honest with you. It's so beautiful, though. So beautiful. And I thought I was going to have to get it resized. But I was like, I don't care. I'll stuff it on my finger. I'll be alright. So, don't know. I don't think that has anything to do with anything. But back to like what the guy was telling me from Walmart. He was like, why don't you talk about that kind of stuff? And the kind of stuff he was referring to was when I told him that as we were in the Walmart parking lot talking, we're talking about how people sleep in their cars. And I'm like, yes, me, myself, and I have slept in this very parking lot in my car. And I could not sleep at all. I could not be at peace. I was like, I can't do it. And I went to my dad's house. I just parked in the driveway. And I fell asleep there. But that was a tough moment for me. I had to choose my battles, pick and choose my battles at that point. And I was like, I can't live like this. I can't do it. But when I went to stay with my dad, that also was a tough decision. And it's been tough. But I'm also, when I'm laying in bed, I'm thankful that I have a bed to lay in. If that's all I got, that's okay. Because I know what it's like to not have a bed. I had to leave my bed. When I got my bed from Walmart online when I lived in Carrollton, Georgia, I put the bed in my trunk, drove it home. Because the whole bed itself, like the frame, fit in the headboard. So it's just one box. Put it in my trunk, drove it on home with the trunk open. And when I moved from Carrollton to Augusta, which is two separate ends of I-20, okay? Put that bed in the mattress, stuffed it in my mama's truck, drove it over there myself. So, to not have a bed, I knew how that felt when I was younger. Because I didn't have a bed at one point. I just had, two mattresses on the floor. Somebody else was sleeping in my bed that came from my house. I just had two mattresses on the floor. Or an air mattress that had a hole in it, so I would have to keep pumping it up in the middle of the night. But that's neither here nor there. So, yes, I guess that was what he was referring that I speak about on my podcast. And after doing more thought, yeah, talk about my feelings, talk about what I'm going through. But am I getting deep with it? Am I really getting to the nitty gritty with y'all? Because I feel like there's more work. I can try to play my cool, play it like I have it all together. It's just the surface level problems. But no, it runs deep. Okay? It runs deep. Because everything I'm talking about, I've had to sit around and cry about. I've had to hate myself over. But now I'm not speaking in a hateful tone, in a down tone, because I had to heal. I am healing. Does it still hurt? Yes. But I'm blessed. Beyond measure. Because after I realized that, God don't make mistakes. And so, even though He knew I was going to have it rough, by the way I came in the world, He still made it happen. Because, like, for instance, when I was pregnant, right, it was over. Like, it wasn't meant to be. God took control of that. There was nothing I could do to stop it. There was nothing a doctor could do to stop it. It was what it was. But when God made me, I'm here. Like, when God does a thing, he does it. Does it for real. So just like with anybody giving birth to a child or whatever, there's pain connected to it to bring it out. It's pain to make it. But it's worth it. Every single child, every single baby, every single person is worth it. Walking around or whatever, rolling around, sitting around, moping around, sleeping around, okay? Every single body is worth it. And so I had to realize that over some time, can't tell you when I figured that part out. Probably was just now when I just said it. But now we're in November of 2022, right? So December, I'd, decided that I need to figure myself out. I need to give myself a chance, right? But I couldn't. I was still in a relationship with somebody that wasn't making it any easier. And then I just had to just end it, right? And that didn't happen until early February. Well, okay. I won't say that I ended it. All I'll say is that specifically February 3rd, 2023, I wrote in my journal that morning. I remember. I think I recorded an episode of the podcast that's no longer up, right? And I remember I was sitting at my computer in my apartment. My therapist texted me, and she was like, "Hey, homegirl, hey, boo, you gonna send the monies?" And I was like, "Okay, I guess." So, I sent her fee. And as soon as it sent, I got this pain in my side, in my left hip. And it was the same pain I felt when, the day after I had so the day after I went to the hospital for the miscarriage or whatever, get home, it's the next day, done whatever, I'm taking a shower, right? And I get this pain in my left hip. It's like a sharp pain. And then all I remember was like feeling a pop on the inside of me. And I start getting lightheaded. Get out the shower, trying to dry off, and I feel like extremely lightheaded. So I just go lay on the bed and at that point I was like, God, if you want me, take me. That's how I felt. And then I just had to lay there and cry. And when I told my doctor about it, she was like, "Oh, well, from what I'm seeing that they sent from the hospital, you had a couple cysts and endometriomas or whatever, so it probably ruptured, probably burst." And I'm like, well, I mean, that's what Google told me. But Google also told me I was gonna die. So what's really good? Because technically, if you Google it, that's a medical emergency. You could die from that because you can get like sepsis or whatever. Like whatever's in the cyst, when it bursts, it goes into your blood. So if you got a lot of toxic, things in the cyst, and goes to your blood. Okay. So I had to realize that, okay, I'm still here. Why? And that was July of 2022. So on February 3rd, same thing happened again. Felt the pop again, the burst again. I go lay on the couch. And at this point, me and God, we've done some talking before. So I'm sitting there talking to God, and I'm like, hey, like, what do you want from me? If if you want me here, you're going to keep me here. But if you keep me here, then I understand it's for a reason. But if not, then, do what you need to do. And then, now they shooting. But anyways, praying like, okay, God, it's your call. And then I'm repeating in my head Bible verses. Like, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. I think that's what they say. I'm just saying this over and over and over again. And I just happened to pick up a book that's laying next to me. It's Tabitha Brown's book. I'm reading it. And I read something. And I'm like, I literally wrote the same thing in my journal earlier today. Which caught my attention. So I'm reading more and more. Until, like, the faintness is gone away. And I feel like I can get up. Hey, is they shooting? Is they shooting? Anyways. So yeah. After I get up, I go pick up, some green stuff. And on the way back, I'm like, you know what, God? If it's meant for be with the guy I was with, my ex, then that's who you have for me. That's who I'm going to love and cherish for the rest of my life. If that's what you want. If not, then you have to make a move. So, my ex comes over. I cook dinner. We're talking. He's telling me about money. Everything, like, every topic of conversation that we were having was money. It had to do with money. Either somebody owed him money, he spent some money, he made some money. It's just money. So I was just like, hey, you talk a lot about money. When I tell y'all he got his clothes out the washer and the dryer, put them in his truck and got the hell out. Didn't say a word. I'm still sitting there eating like, okay. I guess I struck a nerve. And I didn't know what else to do. Like, I just was lost. I was stuck. I just didn't know what else to do. And so during that time, I thought that, you know, I'm really tired. Is it really worth it? Right? So by the time I turned 25, I wasn't happy with my life. I wasn't happy with the quality of life. I wasn't happy with where I was. I wasn't happy with being happy or being unhappy. I just wasn't happy at all. And so I had to make some changes. I was like, who am I going to be at 25? What am I going to do at 25? What am I going to work on? And one of the things I decided to work on was how to be happy. How to be okay. And then that became a process in and of itself. And so, that's some of the things that I've gone through. And then you can also see that I was posting a lot during that time. I was posting a lot of episodes during that time. And then I stopped in May. And then I didn't post again until September the 6th. So from May the 2nd to September the 6th was, a rough time. And a lot of things happened. Like, for one, I learned what it means to just be okay. Like, funny, it's probably not funny, but one story is that I was with one of my coworkers, and we had met these two guys outside taco truck. And so we decided, the next week to go meet back up with them. And they wanted to go to Atlanta. So I was like, okay, cool. I had a curfew. Still have a curfew. That's neither here nor there. So we went. And homeboys driving those videos where people just drive really fast for no damn reason. And you're clutching the seat and you're just watching it on the phone. Yeah, I was in the car clutching. Right? In the back seat praying on the way there. Right? But on the way back, I had to realize that me trying to control the situation is going to help. Because God's going to do what he wants to do. And I just decided to just be. Just going to look out the window. Not out the windshield. If I look out the windshield, I'm going to freak out. I know that about myself. Because I'm going to control it. Because what are you doing when you're driving? You're not looking out the window. You're looking out the windshield. So, I was like, well, I'm a passenger. I'm going to look out the window. If a car's coming, I don't want to see it. Okay? So, looking out the window. And I could just feel God, right? I could just feel him showing me things. Like, look at this. Just by looking out the window. And what I saw was, I think, the Coca-Cola factory. And I've never been. Wanna know why I've never been? Because I got suspended from school for fighting right before we were supposed to go on our 5th grade trip to, the Brave Stadium, the Coca-Cola factory, the aquarium, and you had to give my mom her money back because I was suspended from school. And I never knew where it was. So I'm looking out the window and I'm like, oh wow, I was supposed to go there one day. And I realized I have a story for just about anything. But if I don't stop and take a look around, I might just miss something. Would have forgotten that I was, supposed to go there. But had I not told myself, I can't control the situation. I gotta let God do what He wants to do. If He wants to get me back, if He wants to get me back safe and sound, then He's gonna do that. But I can't tell God how to do His job. But anyways, yeah, I just was thinking that, I have to be more in depth with myself. I gotta keep it real. I keep it real, but I gotta keep it all the way real. Right? Because me, I'm all over the place sometimes. But also a person you can't expect, you can't guess what I'm about to say next. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to say next. I didn't know what I was going to say when I started this episode. I had to pray over it. I was like, God, you let it go. Let it do what it do. Okay? You control the situation. Because I can't. If it was up to me, I would be happy all the time. But life ain't like that. So, yeah. Yeah. Also, another thing. So, y'all know I've been reading Homegirl G's book, right? First couple of pages, I was almost in tears because she was talking about how she was married and then she wasn't. She had to deal with being with someone all the time and then being alone. And then as an adult, it's different. My throat itching, y'all. But anyways, she had to find her reason to just keep going at that point. And I knew how that felt because I had to do the same thing. Because at that point, when my relationship was over, I was like, well, damn. Lost a baby. Lost my man. Right? He told me I lost my sanity. Telling me I'm damn crazy. That I need to get some help. Right? I didn't know what I had. And it took me some time to know that I have a lot to be thankful for. I have a lot going for me. I have a lot attached to my name. I have a lot to talk to y'all about. I have a lot to share. I have a lot of love in my heart, a lot of joy. I just gotta let it out. Because life is also good. I don't know what tomorrow holds. Yo no sé mañana. But I also know that I'm going to see God the whole day. And that's better than I could ask for. Because I love when I see God moving, God doing things. Because, okay, like today, I was getting my nails done, and homegirl was hooking my nails up. And I always loved for the same girl to do my nails. And she was just like when I first got in there, she was like, your nails are barely grown. Like, you could have waited a little while. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, homegirl, I came to see you. I missed you. I went to that scary nail salon and I had to come back to see you. Okay? But that's what I said in my mind. I didn't say anything, you know. But after she's doing my nails and they're drying or whatever, I'm looking at, my notifications on TikTok. And me, I like looking at old interviews of Jenni Rivera and seeing the funny things she has to say. And so recently, I've posted a couple of videos from her last press conference, like right before she died. And then another one, don't know when it was. But I'm just seeing, the amount of likes or whatever. And then I realized that the girl doing my nails, name is Jenni. I almost started freaking out, like, huh? Her name is Jenni. But with a Y. Like, Y-E-N-I? Because I was going to ask her, like, oh, are you a fan of Jenni? And I was like, wait, her name is Jenni. Anyways, and that's how I see God move for me. Just small little details. Like, I don't know, it's cool for me. I don't know. This life I got is very interesting. Because I could talk all day. I really could. But I don't think that there's time for that. But if I could, I would. Like, we could talk all the time. We could talk. We could talk deep. We could talk surface. We could talk Cloud9. We could talk, all areas. I'm down for a conversation. I also can pick up when someone doesn't want to have a conversation. Or maybe I don't want to talk. But if you can hold a conversation, we can talk all day. I can find things to talk about. Because I don't like to just be awkward. I don't like to just be, dull. I like to talk. I like to get to know people. I like to get to know their stories. Why do people have those loud cars? I don't know. But I'm going to get out of y'all's hair. I just want to tell y'all that I have to work on being more in depth with myself. And I just wanted to share a couple of things about me with y'all. Because I appreciate my listeners. I appreciate anybody who takes time out to talk to me, listen to me, whatever. Do anything with me. That warms my heart. Y'all even looking at me, I'm appreciative of. Because I've gone through a period of my life where I didn't go anywhere. Except for to the store. Or maybe the gas station. But I didn't care about how I looked. In fact, I didn't want you to look at me, so I would just dress however, look however, smell however. But now I'm putting more effort into myself. And when I get noticed for the effort, it makes me feel good, right? Because I try to make sure I feel good about myself before I even step foot out of the door. So when someone says, "Oh, you look nice," that means, "Oh, I put that shit on." Okay? You know what I mean? Like, that means, oh, they see what I see. And I see 10s across the board. I don't know. I see 10s across the board. For me. But that's just me. Anyways, like I said, I'm going to get out of y'all's hair. Love, peace, and chicken grease. And please, whatever you do, don't go fucking up nobody's day. Like, it's already enough things to fuck up your day. You can go on Twitter, see people holding dead babies, dead children. That'll fuck up your day. But you gotta make the decision. Am I gonna fuck up this person's day, or am I gonna mind my business? And whatever you choose, that's on you. But if you choose to fuck up somebody's day, when you fuck around, you find out, okay? So I'm just trying to let you know. You wanna fuck around? Gotta be ready to find out. So, without further ado, bye!